gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to Sports Unfolded, Season 2, Episode 52. Last one of the year, my friend. I am your host, Eric, with my main man over there, Ron.
Nope,
how are
the
you?
other way.
Did I do it wrong? There we go.
There we go.
Main man over there, Ron. How are you tonight?
See, it's the last show
It's
of
the
the
last
year.
one.
We've done 52 shows in a 52-week schedule. We did not miss 1 week. And here you are, not remembering the name of the show or where I am.
I don't even know who you are anymore. 52 weeks in. I'm a little tired of the year, man. It's been a long year. And been a difficult year. So towards the end of the show, we will do a memoriam for all those that have fallen this year, unfortunately. But we are going to start off with our leadoff story and bring in Brian, our co-host of Just for Kicks, because we have some sad news in the football soccer world when it comes to our leadoff story, and that would be Pele, the soccer legend who has passed away at the age of 82. Brian, I know you follow soccer a lot. What did Pele mean to the soccer world?
Yeah, this is going without a hitch.
All right, we got nothing.
I'm sorry, my bad.
There we go, my friend.
Hello, Eric. Hello, Ron. Thanks for the invitation. Well, Pele means a lot to the world of football, especially he was a pillar to the modern football, and especially when we talk about the way of playing. He was, I would say, like the man who started the new modern way of play. For example, we see Messi in the dribble. We see Cristiano Ronaldo, how he scored goals. Well, I would say that Pele was a mix of Ronaldo and Messi in one person. So, if we talk about, we can do like a whole show talking about him. But yeah, he to me personally, he started this way of football, of dribbling, of striking, scoring a lot of goals. Everything started with him.
So, 4 World Cup appearances, 3 titles with Brazil. I think he's the only player in history to win 3.
Yes, and he's the only player of win 3, and he's the only player of winning because he won his first one with 17 years old, so he wasn't even 18. Mbappe he won it when he was 18, but Pele is the only one right now who like the youngest person to win a World Cup. With 17 years old.
The amazing thing too is when we talk about comparisons of like superstar greats. So when we mention basketball, we mention Michael Jordan as the greatest player of all time. Tom Brady, in football, National Football League. Pele, would you say, is he that caliber? Was he that big of a star when it comes to the soccer world?
You asking me or
either one of you good gentlemen?
Well, I don't know much about like other sports. I mean, I know a little bit about Michael Jordan and Tom Brady, but like I follow soccer most of the times. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what the other players in other sports mean to their sport, but I know this guy. He, like I say, he invented the beautiful game. Actually, back in the days, they used to call him the beautiful. Like when he would play, he would call him the beautiful game, because he would not only score goals, he would entertain. He would compete. And one fact that I found that he was never kicked out or sent off in a World Cup game. Like he never received a red card. Like he was very like he would play by the rule. He wouldn't be like a pig or he would play Messi on the field.
Yeah. So internationally, and some of the stats as I was looking this up, but 92 games internationally with Brazil, 77 goals. I think there's a stat out there like all time he played in over 1,300 games, scored over 1,300 goals. Like the man was just a goal machine.
Yeah.
And then I was watching some video of him today as I was doing some research, and just the way he could stop on the dribble and then bring it back, and just some of the things that you see today. If you were going to compare some players today, besides Messi and Ronaldo, is there other players that kind of mimic that game?
You know, it's very tough because, like I said, like minutes ago, I see Pele, Ronaldo, and Messi mixing one person. You know, because in soccer you see players that have dribbling, but their definition, I mean, the scoring goals, they're not that great. Or probably they'll be scored like a lot of goals, but when it comes to dribbling, it's not their best. So, to be honest, me personally, I mean, no, I don't. I think no, I haven't
He's the
seen.
most complete player ever.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Me personally, because even Messi, I mean, Messi, he dribbles, you know, he scores goals, but he misses penalty, and I think he misses two penalties in the World Cup. So, and Pele he wouldn't miss any chance. You give him a ball and he would score it. You know what I'm saying? So Messi is more like a dribble guy, and but Pele was both. And Cristiano
Yeah.
Ronaldo, he does, he's not like a dribble guy. He's more score goals. But again, to me personally, right now, not even Mbappe. I don't see anybody with the same talent that Pele had.
There's
So
guys that can score. There's guys that can dribble. There's guys that can play make. He was all three.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, Brian, because internationally, obviously, they celebrate football a lot different than we do. The country of Brazil and what they're going to be going through, what kind of celebrations do you think they're going to have? How do the fans there react to this news of Pele's passing this week?
So, like I say, like I say, Pele was a pillar for the modern football, but I think for Brazil, it's for Argentina. Diego Maradona. He's like I wouldn't use the word God, but it's like the reference of football in their country.
Yeah, yeah.
So in the history, all the history that Brazil got, like it started with Pele. Like before Pele, you wouldn't see any name. So, and the talent and the good players, all of them are expired by him. For Brazil won the World Cup in 2022 with 2002. I'm sorry,
I
with
was like 32. You already prediction.
no, Brazil won the World Cup in 2002 with great
Write
players
that
like
down.
they won the World Cup with great players in 2002 with the name like Ronaldo Nazario, Roberto Carlos, Kaká, all these players, and they were great, and they won the World Cup, and that was a fantastic national team. But all of them were expired by Pelé, the way what he plays, because Pelé is a reference of Brazil, like, and not even from Brazil. I would say the reference of all the South American soccer.
So I'll leave on this, Brian. I'll just ask you. I know that you've followed a bunch of players. Did you have any opportunities to watch Pele on TV or see some of his games? And if not, is that something maybe you're going to start to do with his passing now and just kind of remembering some of the things that he did in the soccer world?
Well, I'm 22, so I didn't
Yeah, you're
I
a young
didn't have
buck.
a
Yes.
chance to watch him live.
Yeah.
I have seen some videos, but look, but you gotta keep in mind though, the football back then is very different to the one that we play now, especially on the rules. So like a lot of the rules have changed. So
Okay.
and especially now, like the players are more physically prepared. You know, they have like discipline. They gotta eat healthy. I mean, back then you would do that, but not as much as they do it now.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to. I mean, obviously it's not going to happen, but it would be very interesting to see players from back then playing the modern football now.
Yeah.
But definitely, I have watched some videos of him, especially the other day when I was listening to this debate about if Messi is like the greatest player of history in world soccer, and in my opinion, he is. But I wouldn't I wouldn't compare him with Pele because again the talent that Pele got, I don't think Messi had it. So yes, like I said, yes, I have watched video of him, and to me personally, he was a very fantastic player. I would put him in the table of top three of the best history players in the world. Just after Leo Messi, because Messi has won everything, like every single title in the soccer sport. Messi got it. So, and I go by the numbers, okay? I mean, but that's my opinion. I go by the
Yeah,
numbers, and Messi
yeah,
got one. Messi.
yeah, you're a Ron fan. You're a title chaser.
So,
Everybody that's had a title is better than everybody
but,
else. I
but
got you.
when it comes to talent, I think Pele had the greatest talent of
Yeah.
any player ever got.
Yeah. So, Brian, I want to thank you for your time. If you haven't had a chance to check out Just for Kicks, we did World Cup preview show. We did the Final Four of the World Cup. You have brought soccer, football to Sports Unfolded. I wanted to thank you. I just felt like this was a great episode to have you on with the passing of one of the greatest football players of all time in Pele this
One of the
week
greatest
at 82.
athletes too.
Yeah. So, Brian, thank you for your time tonight. I really appreciate you joining us on Sports Unfolded tonight.
Thank you for
Brian.
the invitation.
Thank you so much. You take care, Brian.
Thank-
Wow. We are. This is going to be another one of those tough shows. We had a last year at this time, and we lost some legends this year. So, what a way to start when you think about. We're going to do this all at the end as well, and over 150 plus athletes that we are going to, name off tonight. But probably none as big as Pele when you come to the sports worldwide, globally. All right, my friend, but I guess we will continue with our regularly scheduled programming at this point, and we will continue with this discussion later on. But we are going to talk some NFL action, and we are going to start off with the Las Vegas Raiders. What an interesting week this has become for them as well. I know one of your favorite coaches of all time, Josh McDaniels, has decided to put Derek Carr on the bench for the remainder of the season. So the next 2 games, he will no longer be even with the team. I believe he left the team. Your thoughts on this move, and do you agree with the move?
No, I don't agree with the move. Now, normally I would say if you're out of it, let's get the young talent in, to see what you have.
Yep. Mathematically, they're still alive, yes.
Yeah. Well, look, your young talent, he should be very familiar with Stidham, who is not going to take anybody's job away. Okay?
Yeah, agreed. I mean,
this is not a case where you've got to test the rookie out and see what you have and if you want to go in that direction. This is a coach that has no clue what he's doing. Absolutely none. He just disrupted the whole franchise. And let me tell you, this is going to have repercussions because Derek Carr played his last game in Vegas.
Yeah.
And he is not coming back.
Yeah, so I want to play some audio of Josh McDaniels, some of the things he said during his press conference this week.
Talking to Derek, who was great. He understands the scenario that we're in and the situation, and very supportive of the 2 young guys. Those 3 guys obviously have worked together hand in hand all year, and he'll do anything he can to help them. So
I get, again, to your point, if they were mathematically not alive in the playoffs, I understand that. I have a couple of friends that are Raiders fans, and I was surprised they were okay with this move. And they're okay with the move.
I'm not okay with it. First of all, he said Derek Carr has a grasp of the situation. It's too bad the head coach doesn't.
Yeah.
Because that's been the problem all year. This is a team that was ready to take the next step, and they made the coaching change, got rid of their interim head coach who did a fantastic job.
Versace last year did a great job.
He should have been named coach. He should have been named head coach because they probably would have contended this year. And McDaniels has no clue what he's doing. He's no clue.
9 years with the Las Vegas Raiders. He is currently, and this really stinks. He has the second longest streak in the NFL right now, 91 straight games played. So that streak ends this week. So he was 6-9, 60% completion percentage, 3,500 over 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Yes, he leads the NFL, or is tied now in the NFL with interceptions. But some of that you can blame the play calling, the coaching.
Absolutely.
So I question that. And then I started to think back when Josh McDaniels was first the coach in Denver. The same situation happened with Jay Cutler. And he was trying to make a move to get Matt Castle from New England and backdoor it so that, Jay Cutler wouldn't find out, and then they were going to move on, and Jay Cutler found out, and it turned ugly. This is a coach that consistently has a problem with veteran quarterbacks, and I don't understand why. As an offensive coordinator, he had Tom Brady, but maybe Tom
Because Tom Brady demands the room.
Yeah. So, now it's a different scenario. You can't tell me that Derek Carr didn't have that locker room over Josh McDaniels, and I'm sure that was a threat to Josh, and he decided to make a move. But this is going to set this team back for years. Because what are you really working with after this? Now you're talking draft picks and possibly trying to bring somebody in. The Brady rumors have started to look, heat up as well.
Look, this is going to have bigger repercussions than what you even think. Because look, their star wide receiver signed there thinking, I'm going to be the receiver for Derek Carr.
Yeah, my guy that I played with in college.
Right. You don't think he's going to be upset?
No, I think the only way they get through this is, again, if it's Tom Brady, that to me maybe, makes sense to the team at that point. Because, again, Tom can come in, but at 46, at some point, we got to say Tom Brady's just going to get to a point where, look, he's not going to be able to do the things he did. And he has some talented players on the offense in Tampa Bay. Yes, Devontae Adams, probably the best wide receiver in the NFL today. So would that help Tom? Yeah. But I don't know if that's going to be the solution. And if it is, it's a 1-year fix. Right. And what happens if it doesn't go well? Now, all of a sudden, it's, okay, well, Josh has got to go. He's done. You have no quarterback. You have no head coach. And you're basically starting from scratch. How the Raiders fans are okay with this move right now, understanding that Derek Carr, even if he could win the next 2 games for you, would still give you a better opportunity than Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, I go either a further step that Derek Carr has the capabilities of winning a game, despite bad play calling.
Yeah. So another team that's been rumored for Derek Carr would possibly be the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
If you were the New England Patriots next season, do you make that move? This is where Derek Carr is an interesting player, because as good as we think he is with the Raiders, he's a good player. He's a solid player. I don't think he can elevate a team. I think he's a over 500 quarterback that's going to get you usually, 9, 10 wins a season. Playoff time, gets a little shaky. But would you want him on your team? If that was your option now, and you say, look, is he a better option than Mac Jones? I would question. They're about the same. And that's where this sometimes is a weird situation. Is he the best quarterback for the Raiders right now? Yes. But next season, where would you see Derek Carr going that would actually make him a better quarterback?
Look, somebody is going to end up, with a starting job somewhere, like a New York Jets, like a Seattle, maybe even a San Francisco. We're looking at Carolina.
That one would be an interesting move.
So
I could, if he goes to San Francisco,
right,
I could see him getting to a Super Bowl.
So basically, it's going to be like this quarterback carousel again. But the dictation of the order is going to be Tom Brady first. Wherever Tom Brady decides to go, then all the other pieces fit in somewhere else.
Or if he retires.
Derek Carr to
Tampa Bay wouldn't be a bad move.
No?
it's going to be interesting. So let's talk about another coach. That's Nathaniel Hackett. He was fired by the Denver Broncos after a 4-11 start to the season. Do you think the Broncos made the right move releasing him at this point
Well,
in the season?
no. It should have been earlier.
We've had these before, right? And I think that's kind of where we go with these. Why wasn't it sooner?
He's terrible. He is the worst coach I might have ever seen.
Chakra, thanks for joining.
Maybe ever.
Right. I wonder, we do the what were you thinking? And we've done that episode or segment a couple times. What did he say to the GM? And look, I'm going to make Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, who they're two completely different quarterbacks. They're not even remotely the same. Russell Wilson likes to run out of the pocket and create. Aaron Rodgers can stand in the pocket and do so many different things. This guy never seemed to get a grasp. Like at some point you sit back and you say, okay, maybe it's, rookie coaches trying to figure it out, trying to, understand the league and how to process things. He seemed to get worse every week.
Yeah.
And I think the straw was they basically lost, what was it, 51-14 against the Rams, who have not looked good all year. Nope. And I don't know if the Rams scored 50 points in 5 games, and they scored 50 points. And they had the lowest scoring average, 15.5 points per game. He was supposed to be an offensive guy, like a man who could get your offense and create points. And he took them a step back. So I guess the biggest question I would say, Ron, it was time. But how does this affect Russell Wilson going forward? If you're the Denver Broncos organization, what kind of head coach are you bringing in to say, we need to fix this guy? If he can be fixed, can he be fixed? And who would fix him?
Well, you got to bring in somebody with experience at this point.
There's been a name rumored.
Yeah.
Sean Payton.
Right. There could be another one that's going to be available.
Who?
Maybe Bill.
You are really going down this road right now.
I am going down that road. Look,
Matt Patricia. He's really good offensively.
And that's a big if, the Patriots do part ways with Bill Belichick, then you're going to have two coaches that are going to be highly sought after.
But let me say that Russell Wilson's not a Bill Belichick quarterback.
No.
So I don't think he would want Russ there.
No.
I could see the Sean Payton thing because of Drew Brees, that the shorter quarterbacks, he found a way to make sure that Brees could, make plays, even though the line was a obstruction, and there were so many different factors for Drew Brees, and Drew Brees became one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah.
I could see that and his offensive prowess of how he can, dictate an offense. That may be an option, and they got the talent. Denver's a talented team. I
just feel that if the Patriots do get rid of Bill Belichick,
he's still on.
No,
go
hear
ahead.
me out.
Go ahead. Okay.
It's not really about Bill. It's about Sean Payton.
2023. Here we go.
I think that if they do part ways with Bill Belichick,
okay,
Kraft already has a deal with Payton. He would not get rid of Bill Belichick unless he has Sean Payton.
But I don't know. Would you want to follow Bill Belichick in New England?
It's either Sean Payton or Mike Vrabel gets fired in Tennessee.
That I see more as a possibility. And listen, they difficult game last night against the Tennessee Titans, against the Dallas Cowboys, and the Titans they sat so many guys because they need to win the next game in the division. So they rested a lot of bodies, and I don't know if people are going to question that move as well. Also got the GM fired, so maybe. But again, does he want to come to New England?
When the GM gets fired, usually the coach follows.
Yeah, it's
because the GM wants to get their own coach.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Vrabel on the sideline, honestly. I mean, I love Bill, what Bill's done for New England, but if you did make a change, that one I could accept. Yep. I don't know if I'd Sean Payton, because it's a whole different dynamic. I think Vrabel's more of Belichick's mold. But no, good call. So, Ron, what are your games of interest this week? What should we be watching if we're NFL fans? I mean,
if we're NFL fans.
If we're NFL fans, we were just saying, Hey, man, what are you going to watch this week?
I have 4 games.
Oh, I got 6. I beat you. Go ahead.
I don't know if that's beating me because you have some 2 weak games.
Oh, here we go.
I have, and this may be laughable,
Haha.
but Carolina at Tampa Bay.
That I actually have the game as well.
Because, I mean, that could be a first place thing.
That is. It is. If the Panthers can win, they move ahead of Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And honestly, the way Carolina's been playing, they have an opportunity to win that game.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me. And the lore of Tom Brady, I think, is faded. I think we are starting to see the diminishment that we expected at some point with Tom Brady at 45. I mean, it may be time. But no, I agree with you. I had that game. I had the Dolphins at the Patriots.
Yep.
Because again, that's a playoff game for both of those teams. If you lose, you're done. You're out. So the Dolphins and the situation with Tua and him being out now on concussion protocol, that gives New England an opportunity, which again is crazy to think about how horribly they've played all season. And if the Dolphins lose, I mean, you could see some major changes, even from a head. Well, not even, I don't think the head coach, but offensively, the coordinators, you could see changes when it comes to the quarterback. Is Tua their quarterback next season? This game could determine that right now.
It's going to be a lot of quarterbacks available.
Yes. Tom Brady rumored there as well. Tom Brady's rumored everywhere, just about. New England as well, too.
And don't forget about Jackson.
Lamar, he could be a free agent. That has not, yes, that is a great point. What else do you have?
Well, fighting for their lives is Green Bay, so I went Vikings and Green Bay.
I have that one as well. Can the Vikings finally put the nail in that coffin?
Yeah.
Can they say, look, we're the team of this division? Regardless, they won the division, they're in the play. Would you not want them to, as just that final check in the box?
Because if you lose this game, then they're going to be one and done in the playoffs.
You might have to play the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you know how Aaron Rodgers, against his division, he has those games, man. It can happen. Yeah. No, great game. I have the Jets at the Seahawks as well. And the Jets need that game. Change at quarterback, Mike White. Can they muster enough up in the next 2 weeks? They've got 2 games that are actually the easiest of the group when it comes to New England, Miami, and the Jets. This is a game they can win. And if they win, they're still in the playoff hunt to make the playoffs. And it'll end the longest streak. They have not been in the playoffs, I think, since 2016. I could be wrong on that. But that was one of my games. Don't like that game, huh? You wouldn't watch that game?
No.
Okay. What else?
And the Bills at Cincinnati.
Bengals, right? Has to be.
Yeah.
AFC Championship preview, possibly.
That's probably the best game of the week.
Yeah.
That's the one everybody wants to see because
it's Monday night too.
It's like
so it's the only game on.
Three teams that we're expecting to be there.
Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cincinnati, and the winner of this game pretty much almost locks up that number 1 seed.
Yeah.
If Buffalo wins, Buffalo basically has New England next week in Buffalo. So I could see Buffalo being the number 1 seed. I had my last game, Steelers at Ravens.
Yeah.
And I have that because of the Mike Tomlin situation. So longest streak in NFL history, 15 straight seasons as a rookie head coach to not have a losing season. Loses that game, it's done. He's 7-8 right now. He needs to win the next 2.
Yeah.
Does the team step up for him and makes that happen? Or is this, again, we start to see some of these coaches that have been around for quite some time now, and they're starting to lose their team. It's interesting when your star quarterback is gone, right?
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger no longer in Pittsburgh, as much as he got injured or might not have played as well, still found ways to win for Pittsburgh. Tom Brady,
I'm actually surprised they get this many wins, to be honest with you.
Tom Brady no longer in New England. You start to see the fall. So, it'd be interesting to see how that all pans out. But those were my games of interest this week. But it is time, my friend, for
Grounded to third. There's one. There's two. There it is. It's a triple play.
It is triple play time. And we've got some legends again. This was a fun one. 1970. These three pitchers had the most complete games that season. And that was Fergie Jenkins, Bob Gibson, and Gaylord Perry, who passed away this year as well. So we are going to decide who we start, who we bench, and who we are cutting. I am first this week, so I will start us off. And these numbers are ridiculous, man. These guys were great. They were such pitching then versus today. I will just say that right off the bat. What a difference. I hear Andy Griffin in the background. I could hear the whistle. That was pretty good. You hear it? So I am starting Gaylord Perry. I think I'm this may be something other than this may be an adult beverage. Gaylord Perry, I am starting. He was 314 and 265 with a 3.11 ERA, 3,500 strikeouts, 303 complete games. 303 complete games. You get lucky you get guys to get 30 in a career now. I benched Fergie Jenkins, 284, 226, 3.34 ERA, 3,192 strikeouts, over 4,500 innings pitched. Gaylord Perry, 5,300 innings pitched. Like these guys just pitched that, you know what I mean? Their butts off. 267 complete games for Fergie. So I cut Bob Gibson, who actually had a better ERA than both of them at 291, but pitched a little less, only 3,884 innings only, and 255 complete games. So he had a little bit less than them. I want a guy that I know can go pretty much 9 innings if I need him to. And Gaylord Perry definitely could do that. Fergie, a little better than Bob Gibson. And that was my triple play.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but
okay.
That really is a surprise, I guess.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go with Bob Gibson as my starter. He's got the best ERA of all of them. So I want to get a pitcher that's going to give me the best opportunity to win a game. And when you limit the runs, that is what you need to do. And he's a dominant pitcher. So if I run into any trouble, I can bring Gaylord Perry in because he can get me those innings. He can eat up the pitch clock like no one else can. So I'm going to bring in Gaylord Perry off the bench, and unfortunately, I'm going to cut Fergie Jenkins, which in a great atmosphere, you could have all three of these pitchers in your starting rotation, but I can't do that, so I have to cut one of them. So I'll cut Fergie. Okay.
Almost 700 more innings for Fergie.
I don't care.
And what, 1,500? If I'm doing my math right?
It doesn't matter. I want Gaylord Perry as my backup.
Okay. Sure. Again, wrong as usual.
You started Gaylord Perry, so I don't want to hear it. You want me to cut him?
I cut Bob Gibson.
I know
I cut
you
Bob
did.
Gibson because he needed to get cut.
No, he didn't.
Fergie was better, and you know what I mean. Fergalicious.
No, I don't know what you mean.
Fergalicious. 2023 can't come fast enough, my friend. Episode 52 is going off the rails. It is NBA time. We are going to discuss some basketball now. And we're going to bring up, the situation that happened with the Magic and Pistons. 11 players have been suspended. Do you agree with the suspensions? So, Keelan Hayes, 3 games. Mortice Wagner, 2 games. 8 other players from the Magic got at least 1 game for leaving the bench. Haynes actually punched Wagner in the back of the head and knocked him out for a few seconds.
Well, I don't think I agree with suspensions. I just don't agree with the length of them.
Yep. And that's where I think I was going to go as well.
Because I could have sworn this has happened before.
Malice in the Palace, and that's the first thing I thought of was in Detroit.
And weren't those suspensions like double digits or something?
A lot of them, I think, were season ending. if I'm not mistaken.
Like, these guys got a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, and I just, I just don't understand it. So the play that led to it was they were going for the ball, and I think Wagner, bumped. If the ball was going out of bounds, and he basically wouldn't allow the Detroit Piston player to run by, so he bumped him, which forced him out of bounds. I mean, the guy didn't fall. He didn't. It wasn't like he went into the stands. It was a dirty play. I agree. But the fact that these kids now, again, it's going to say, okay, well, look, 3 games, 2 games. What stops it from happening later on in another game where it gets worse?
Well, just
where
gives them some time off for the holidays.
Yeah, celebrating the new year, don't have to worry about practice.
Yep.
We're not talking about a game. Practice, my friend. What does the NBA got to do to change this? Like, how do you stop or prevent this from happening? What would have been a logical suspension in your eyes?
I mean, you got to give 10 for the punch in the back of the head, at least. I mean, you start there.
Right. Any punches thrown, maybe it's a
right.
10
If
game
you have
suspension
if you have
automatically.
punches thrown, I mean, you should get
especially
a
if they
harsher
connect.
Sentence.
Because
Like,
we know sometimes
this is basketball. This isn't, UFC, boxing,
MMA, yeah. I just, and 2 young teams. They're both very young teams, just undisciplined.
Yeah.
And it's not a good sign for the NBA if this is what your league's basically going to become.
It's not the look that they want.
Definitely not. So let's talk about another player, and that's Devin Booker. He is out at least 4 weeks with a groin injury for the Phoenix Suns. How big of a loss is this now for the Phoenix Suns? So obviously Chris Paul went down for a bit during the season so far, which is expected with Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Devin Booker is their best player.
Yeah.
By far. So how does this affect where they are? So currently 6th in the Western Conference at 20-16. They're only 2 games ahead of the 10th spot.
Yeah.
So, in a month's time, that could be where
that'll be where they are. In 4 weeks from now, that's where they're going to be, in the 10th spot.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. He's number 1 on the team in scoring at 27.1 points per game.
Yeah.
2nd in assists and minutes. 3rd in rebounds. 3rd in 3-point attempt. Oh, yeah. So, you know what I mean? He's basically their offense.
Right.
You're taking that piece out. That's 27 points a game you lose. He's 12th overall in the NBA in scoring. He's a legitimate superstar.
Yeah.
This is like Boston, losing to Jason Tatum. It's that important of a player to that team. I don't think they can recover from this, and they may miss the playoffs based on what happens here. Because Minnesota's the 11th seed. They're just out, and we all think that they're underperforming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If the Timberwolves can figure it out,
they will.
They could move into that 10th spot, and you could see Phoenix drop all the way out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times, and then continuity, because now Paul hasn't been on the court at the same time. Now Book is not going to be on the court. Like at some point, these injuries are going to start to
look, and at some point, Paul is going to get injured again.
Yeah.
Like, this is just the way it is.
It's almost a guarantee.
Like, this is the stuff that we keep talking about with the same players over and over. Nothing is going to change that. I mean, This is their future. And, when you lose your best player and then you have to rely on somebody else to pick up that slack. And if that player goes out, and we all expect it to happen, whether it's like 3 or 4 games at a time, but it's going to happen. So I don't see them recovering, and I think they're going to tumble all the way down. And Minnesota will not finish out of the playoffs. They will make it. They're too good.
I agree with you. I think so. They got too much talent. They have way too much talent. So good luck to Phoenix. We're going to talk some Major League Baseball and a couple of Red Sox stories here. So we'll first start off with the gentleman we're going to bring up, and that's Corey Kluber. He signed with the Boston Red Sox. Does the move make sense for the Red Sox? Do you like this move?
Well, it has to happen because, I mean, they couldn't keep Eovaldi.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
he left. Yep, which we'll discuss in a few minutes.
yeah. I mean, that's the big thing, you know. Look, you subtract a pitcher that
I feel like you want to explode and you're not doing it. You're staying calm, which is pretty impressive. New Ron, new year, new Ron. You see, we're starting in 2022. We've changed you.
look, you have a guy in Nathan Eovaldi. Yes, he didn't have a great year. He had injuries last year. Okay, we get that. The Red Sox stunk last year because nobody knew what they were doing. All right. Now you take a guy that every year in, year out, he plays well against who? Your arch rival, right?
Yep.
He plays very well against the Yankees. And how many years is it going to be before you get another guy that can pitch well against the Yankees? That's what you need. Look, we all know, yes, there's other teams in the division, but we all know that it all comes down to the Red Sox versus Yankees, and you have to beat the Yankees. If those are the only wins you get all year, the fans are still happy. Now, you just lost a guy that can pitch against the Yankees. Now you got to hope Kluber can be like he was, in his early days.
Yeah, good luck. 37. I mean, 10-10 last season, 164 innings pitched, 4.34 ERA, 139 strikeouts in 31 games with the Tampa Bay Rays. I will say this. Look, 31 games, he basically played the entire season. He stayed healthy.
Right.
His last two teams have been the Yankees and the Rays, which benefits Boston in the aspect he knows the East, the AL East.
Yep.
So that's not a learning curve for him. But at 37, how much more is left in the tank? That's where I would question. And you just gave up Eovaldi, who's 33, who's 4 years younger.
Right. And throws a lot of heat.
Yeah. So again, I think, and we can kind of go right into the Eovaldi thing. He signed with the Texas Rangers. I think it was $34 million for 2 years. Did Boston make a mistake? Now they get Kluber, but losing Eovaldi, would you not say it made more sense to try to re-sign Eovaldi?
It's not only the loss of Eovaldi though. Like take it for what it's worth, but they lost Wacha, who was their best pitcher last year.
Yeah, Michael Wacha performed very well for Boston.
He was fantastic. What did he have? Like 1 or 2 losses? But really? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? The Red Sox are just doing things bizarre. It's bizarre. Like, none of the moves make sense for what they're trying to do. Like, first of all, if you're going to trade players at the deadline and you trade Vasquez, why are you not trading the rest of them?
Yeah.
Because now you just lost Eovaldi, you lost Martinez, you lost Xander Bogaerts. Okay? Now, it would be different if you're trying to build from within, right? No. They're going out and signing players that just are beyond their prime.
Yeah, Turner, right? With Turner, now Kluber. You look at some of those moves.
It just makes no sense. None of it makes sense.
And can I say this? The loyalty factor. So again, for the last 5 years, Eovaldi's been in Boston. To your points, pitched well when he's healthy. Health's a concern with Eovaldi, and I could see them being a little hesitant to say, "Hey, look, you know what I mean?" And he's 26 and 18 in the 5 years with Boston. He's missed a lot of time.
Yeah,
he only pitched in 20 games last season.
Yeah,
but 6-3, 3.87 ERA, 103 Ks in those 20 games. I mean, it's pretty good. But you saw it with Bogaerts as well. There's just no loyalty anymore in Boston. Like, you had the David Ortiz, and no matter what happened, they weren't going to lose him. But Boston's predominantly known for that as well. I mean, look at Clemens. When Clemens was, one of the most dominant pitchers, they let him walk. And we could sit and blame the GM today, but there's something in this organization.
Carlton Fisk, Rick Burleson, and all the other cast leave in 1 year. It's like,
something's wrong with Boston and their loyalty to their players.
It's not so much the loyalty thing because they were doing really well for a while. It's just certain GMs. And I'm sorry, Heim is got to go. He is awful. It's like he's trying to run it like he's running the Oakland A's. It's like, no, this is the Boston Red Sox you're running. Like, stop this. Like, we expect excellence, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's a rookie. It doesn't matter if it's a rookie or not. But don't try to insult us by going out and getting, oh, well, we got Justin Turner. Yeah, that's going to do it. You know?
So
Corey Kluber, 37 years old. Yeah, that's going to do it. Why aren't we in on these other? If you wanted a 37-year-old, why didn't you get Justin Verlander?
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah. I will say this. Boston fans.
I'm heated now.
Boston fans are so loyal that their organization can do whatever happens, and they're going to still fill the seats. They're going to all march to Fenway Park, and they're going to continue to support the Boston Red Sox. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like the Red Sox, because I felt like they get a pass every year, no matter what. The Patriots do not, the Celtics do not, the Bruins do not. But the fans will continue to go out there, even though you can clearly see that this team is underspending, trying to save a buck, possibly trying to sell the team. And that's why they're doing this, because they don't want to have such a high payroll that somebody wouldn't want to invest.
Yeah, well, he wanted to go buy the Pittsburgh Penguins, and now you reap what you sow.
So I think they're going to start to see the regression this season, because even when you brought back Cora, because you were just trying to bring back a name, it wasn't that he was probably the best choice for the job or the players you got. Alex Cora is a very good manager if you have veteran players who he can just kind of go through that motion and manage the team.
And if you have secret cameras.
Yes, that helps. But how do you get, you're basically saying, look, we're going to get all these guys that we think off the scrap heap that may be pretty good again, or have one of those seasons like Waka had a season. He's up there in age as well. And that's what you're going to continue to do now. You're just going to continue to try to get guys like, we're going to hope Justin Turner can turn into a 30 home run guy. Corey Kluber can, somehow get us 15 to 20 wins. I just don't understand. Alex Cora is not the guy for that. He is
so not. Look, like everything they've done, like I said, makes no sense. Okay. Like when they picked up Eric Hosmer, right?
Yeah.
Stops the bleeding at first base. So what are you going to do with Bobby Dahlbeck? What are you going to do with him?
Didn't they get rid of Hosmer? They got rid of him.
Yeah, they let him go.
So they let him go after that move. Like, it made no sense.
Right.
But go ahead.
Right. So now you still have Bobby Dahlbeck. If you're going to have Cassis coming in and playing first base, what are you going to do with Bobby Dahlbeck? Now you just got a Turner to play DH or third base or wherever. I don't know where he's going to play. Who knows?
My bet's third, because Devers is going to be the next one out the door.
Well, yeah, after next year, yeah. But again, they're not going to trade him. They're just going to hold on to him, and he's going to sign with somebody else, and you're going to lose another star for getting nothing back in return. It all doesn't make sense. If you decide that you don't want to sign these guys for that high a price, that is fine. But do something with them before you lose them.
Yeah. That would be a smart move by a GM. Xander Bogaerts should have been traded.
Right.
You're going to do the same thing.
And Martinez.
But you're going to do the same thing with Devers now.
Yeah.
Like, the opportunity's there. To your point, if you go after this season and say, I think he's going to be way out of our price range, we're not going to spend $400 million on this guy.
Yeah, and he's only
you
one of
trade
the
him
top
at the
five players in the league.
Yeah. You trade him at the beginning of the season. There's going to be a team that says, look, I will take him on for 1 year without a doubt. And you're going to get something back in return that honestly could help you down the road.
Right.
But, I would say if you're going to do the same thing you did with Bogaerts, then it wouldn't make sense to be even. How can the Red Sox fans continue to enjoy this part of baseball every year. If this is what your team's going to be, is one of those guys. Look, we got all these great players that we know after their contract that we're just going to let them walk.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at rosters across the league this year, and I'm gonna find out who has more players that I actually like as a player, and that's the team I'm gonna root for.
All right, I like it. Ron, it's face-off time.
We talk about it all the time, Rick. A clean face-off win.
So, with the Tua situation, we are going to debate, should the NFL suspend coaches when there are mishaps regarding handling concussion protocols? So there's a pretty good chance that Tua suffered another concussion during the game. There was a big hit his head. He says, or he claims as a player, he didn't experience symptoms till the next day and then went to the doctors, and this is how it was discovered. But when you're talking about a player that we saw get basically slammed to the ground in Cincinnati and his fingers locked up, you start to question this organization and how they're handling.
They have a track record of lying, period.
Exactly. So one of us has to be for the NFL suspending, and one of us has to be against this. I am first this week, so I will tell you right now, I am for the NFL suspending coaches because I think this is the only way you're going to protect players going forward. And you got to protect players from themselves. I am sure Tua is hearing all the chirping from the media, from the fans, that if they don't win or, he's the reason. So he's trying to get out there and play. And they supposedly had set up these, doctors who don't work for the organization and doctors on the sidelines and all these different formats to make sure that these players don't have this situation happen. And yet it keeps happening. They have to start to say, look, we're going to start to suspend coaches. You are going to be responsible for this so that if you have any question or doubt in your mind, you're pulling that player, not because you want to win a game, you're going to keep him in and hope that it isn't a concussion. You're going to pull him and you're going to do the right by that player because they may not do it to themselves. And until the NFL makes the coaches responsible for it, there's nothing like, hey, pat him back on the back and say, hey, you know what? Get back out there and do it. You got this. You're okay. Yeah, I got it, coach. I need to get paid next year and I can't afford to miss a game. That's what these players do. The coaches are just as responsible, and somehow they skate by. And this is the third situation in Miami, and yet that coach has no repercussions. There absolutely should be suspensions.
It's a good theory, but the problem is with only a 17-game season, I think you put more players in jeopardy by suspending the coach. Because then there's a lot of miscommunication. People can get hurt, bad, whatever it is. More players can be at risk when coaches are not there. Now, with that, there does have to be some repercussions. And I think you hit it where the team gets hit hardest. And that is draft picks. So I'm not in favor of, suspending coaches. I'm in favor of finding those coaches and then penalizing the team. How? Simple. By the player that gets hurt with the concussion. If that player is a second-round pick, you lose your second-round pick. If he's a first-round pick, you lose your first-round pick, etc., etc. That's how it hurts because you're putting players at risk by doing this. And I know the player wants to play, and he's going to make up every reason and try to fake it or whatever to get back in there. And we know this from Tua. Like, Tua is not a bad guy, okay? But he lied about having that concussion the first time, period. He knows he had it, and he just wanted to get back in there because he's a competitor. And that part I like about him, but you have to take precautions. And that coach knows that happened. And therefore, they should lose that first-round pick for Tua.
So think about this. Tom Brady was rumored to go to Miami.
Right.
You don't think Tua knows that, look, any mishap any games missed, any, piece of him not being successful on that football field and not going out there and playing is an opportunity where he loses a job and maybe a career.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well-
his career. And again, I think the coaches sometimes don't do their due justice to say, look, you're okay. Don't worry about that. We're going to take care of the play, because that's not what they're thinking about.
Right.
They're thinking about
No.
the wins.
No.
They're
I
thinking
know.
about W's.
And this is all on the coach. This is all on the coach. Like, I know what Tua was
Mike
saying.
McDaniel.
He's saying all the right things to get in there, and the coach needs to know. He does know. Let's
They
be
know.
honest. They know. So when you
They
make
choose
that
not to.
decision, yes, you need a repercussion. But I don't feel you can do the suspensions because it's too costly for the other players. I really think that it could really hurt the other players, because then they're not as prepared. Because if you suspend a coach, that means they have to stay away from the team as well. And then they're not ready. The players aren't ready, and they can get hurt. And I don't want more players hurt because of that. So you got to hit the coaches with the wallet, and they can get hurt by a wallet. I mean, you know how much they make, so you can hurt them, and the team gets hurt. So that is the draft pick is the bigger problem for the coach.
Yeah. Yep. NHL time. Very good, my friend with the face off. We're
It's
going to
my best
bring up,
one I've had.
we're going to bring up your man, Sid Crosby. Sid the Kid. He's being given the honor of the Order of Canada. I guess it's one of the biggest honors in Canada. Your thoughts on Crosby?
Is that like becoming a knight or something?
I guess it would be very similar. I guess there's 99 new appointments. He's one of them, as the Stanley Cup, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, 2-time Olympic gold medal.
Wait, so there's 99 of these in a year?
Being inducted. I don't know if it's every year.
Jesus.
That's how many.
Well, that's not
But
that special.
there's, I guess, his selection is in recognition of being one of the greatest hockey players of all time, and for supporting community service initiatives for youth. And that was by Mary Simon, the Governor General of Canada, in her statement.
I want to see what these other 98 guys got. Or
Yeah, I guess there was another hockey player, one of the women's Canadian hockey player as well. She won one. I don't recall her name. I didn't write it down. But I will say this. How important is Sidney Crosby to obviously Canada, but I would say in general the NHL? I know you had some thoughts on Sidney Crosby, so I'm going to allow you some time here.
No, I mean, I think it's a good honor. I mean, he is a great player. Like, I mean, I wouldn't put him top 5. No, by no means. Not even top 30.
10?
But
No.
not even top 30. Look, there's a lot of great players in history. Look, I could be here all day naming a whole bunch of them that I like
I'll
better.
pick and roll alone. We're going to have another.
Right.
Another
And
hockey.
yeah, I'd probably take all of those guys ahead of him. Just saying. But look, he's a great player. He's won Stanley Cups. He's won gold medals. I mean, he's done it all as a player, except for, scoring titles after 2 of them. But, like Lemieux had a lot of them.
Yeah, he may not even be the best player in his organization's history.
No, he's not even top 2 in his organization. That's Mario and Yager.
So, again, I think to your point that,
but he's a great player. Look, he deserves an honor, especially if he's done stuff, for children and stuff like that. Look, hockey players are known to do stuff for charities, and and he's no different.
I think you got to look at too that he had some concussion issues and things that, from a standpoint of his career, it kind of hurt him. Yeah, because he missed a lot of time on the ice.
He did.
But again, I think the thing that we've got to get out of this is that a lot of athletes do a lot of good things.
Oh, absolutely.
The sports that, if a country's going to give you that high of an honor.
Yeah. Oh, he deserves it.
I think, you realize that how important it is to a country to have players that are willing to do things outside of the sports world that
Absolutely.
are going to make, an impact on people's lives. So, Sid, congratulations on that award. I think that's a great award.
Absolutely.
So,
Like, I don't want to make
wasn't
it
a
sound
bash
like
Sid Crosby. Yeah, we're not bashing
Yeah, I
Sid.
was not trying to bash Sid by no means, because this is a great honor. He deserves the honor for 2. And, for all that he does, he's still a talented human being at the game of hockey.
Very much so. Great.
And a future Hall of Famer.
Yep. Great.
Once he
NHL
retires.
discussion. Put him in now. Just do it. Hey, it's pick and roll time. This Andy Griffith again. Why do I keep hearing it?
I don't know what you're hearing.
You got a TV on in the background?
I don't have anything on.
Okay. So it is pick and roll time. And this one blew my mind, because how do you have 5 players all from the same team lead the NHL in assists in a season? But the 1970 Boston Bruins, so 52 years ago, hence where we're at, episode 52, all 5 of these hockey players led the NHL in assists. And they all came from the Boston Bruins. And that was Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito, John Busick, Ken Hodge, and Wayne Cashman. We are going to rank them 5-1. I am first this week, so I will start us off. And I know you're already going to have a problem with my list, but I am going at number 5, Wayne Cashman. Again, some great numbers, just didn't get a lot of accolades. 277 goals, 516 assists, 793 points for his career, a plus 278, which is really good. He only had 1 All-Star, though, and he won 2 cups. So all these guys won the 2 cups, obviously, with the Bruins. Ken Hodge, I went at 4, 328 goals, 472 assists, 800 points, a plus 260. But he had 2 All-Stars. He had 1 more All-Star. I gave him a nod for that. Obviously, the 2 cups. At 3, I went Bobby Orr. Bobby Orr, 270 goals, 645 assists, 915 points, a plus 582, which is ridiculous. Obviously, all his accolades: 9 All-Stars, 1 Calder, 8 Norris, 2 Ross, 2 Smythe, 3 Harts, 1 Pearson, and 2 Stanley Cups. Here's why I went John Busick at number 2.
Oh, my God.
556 goals, 813 assists, 1,369 points in his career. 400 plus more points than Bobby Orr had.
Yeah, he had like 400 more games, too.
His plus minus wasn't very good. Thank you, Manny, for joining. 2 All-Stars, 2 Bings, and obviously the 2 Cups. I mean, again, you can criticize all you want, but he had almost 300 more goals, 200 more assists. At number 1, it has to be Phil Esposito, though. That man was just ridiculous. 717 goals, 873 assists, so 1,590 points, a plus 252, 8 All-Stars, 5 Ross, 2 Hart, 2 Pearsons, and he won the 2 Cups. So that's how my pick and roll went.
Okay. I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Can you give the games played for those 3 players?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
Because I'm just looking at their numbers. Their numbers.
No, I don't care. You want the list of the best player, right?
You should care.
You want
Tom
the best
Brady
players?
broke every single record in the NFL. He's also played more games. It's gonna.
You want the
numbers
best
are gonna
player, right? You want the best player?
I want the guys that I feel have the most. Yes, and I'm gonna go with a guy that scored 556 goals over a guy who scored 270. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
Number 5, Wayne Cashman. You got that right.
Thank you.
And number 4, Ken Hodge. You got that right.
Okay.
Johnny Busick drops down a spot at number 3.
Okay.
The Chief.
1,369 goals, points,
Yep.
But I hear you.
Yep.
Second most on this list. But
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And number 2 is Phil Esposito.
No way.
Absolutely.
No
Look,
way.
Phil
You are
Esposito-
biased because you're a Bobby Orr, and you've already said he's one of your favorite players of all time.
I didn't say that.
You are.
I
so
never
biased.
said he
You
was
are
one of my
biased.
favorite
But
players.
go ahead.
How am
Explain
I
to me
biased?
how
They're all Bruins. They're all
Because you're going over a
Bruins.
guy. How do you go over ahead of Phil Esposito, who scored almost 500 more goals?
Because have you
500 more
seen
goals.
any video of Bobby Orr?
What does that got to do with
Have you
500
seen
more
any
goals?
video?
Okay.
It's got a lot to do with it.
Okay.
It's got a lot to
I
do
could
with
see a
it.
video about a guy. Wayne Gretzky's pretty damn good because he scored a lot. He scored. They scored. It's all about the numbers.
Bobby Orr
I don't care what they look like.
Played not even half as long.
Here we go.
Not even half as long. Look at that plus minus.
Double his numbers. Does he still beat Phil Esposito?
Double. Try tripling them.
Okay, triple it. It'd still be pretty close. It'd be about the same.
And Bobby Orr's a defenseman. Phil Esposito made a career standing in front of the net.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
He made a
Go ahead.
career out of that.
Okay.
Standing in front of the net.
Bobby
Orr
Orr
shoots the puck,
Uh-huh.
and Phil Esposito cleans it up. That's what happens.
Okay.
That's why all these guys have all these assists.
Uh-huh.
Because they have a guy parked in front of the net and they clean it up. That's why he has a ton of goals. He's made a career out of it, just like Dave Andrechuk. Bobby Orr revolutionized the game. He revolutionized the game.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first of his kind. First of his kind, that offensive defensive player. And he did it better than anyone that has ever played. He is arguably one of the top 3 players ever.
I wish I had some love music going right now in the background.
Just saying.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, man. You want to say you guys candlelight dinner?
No,
and,
you're looking at that. You're looking at those numbers, and you're saying, "Oh, he's better than Bobby Orr."
Tom Brady
just because
sucks.
of
I
those.
got you. No, Tom Brady sucks.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Because the numbers don't matter. Numbers don't matter. Numbers don't matter. They don't matter. It's the look. It's the change. It's revolutionized the sport.
You know why they won those 2 Stanley Cups?
Out of here.
You want to know why they won those 2 Stanley Cups?
Bobby Orr, according to you. Period.
Bobby Orr. That is why they won those 2 Stanley Cups.
There we go. So
because until he came around, they would score all the goals they wanted to, but they couldn't get by the other teams.
Okay.
Because when it came crunch time, they couldn't defend.
Sucked. I think 70-something goals that sucked.
Yes, he scored a lot of goals.
Okay.
That's why there's so many assists distributed.
It's so easy to do, man. Everybody's just scoring goals, I guess. Except Bobby Orr, who had 270. He's the lowest on this list. He had the least amount of goals of anybody.
And the only defenseman on that list.
Okay.
Go look at all the defensemen in the league that year.
Okay.
Go look at all the defensemen in the league.
I will do that, sir.
And you do that. You tell me what defenseman scored goals.
Okay.
There's one.
Okay. Prediction time. We got to bring that up, don't we? All right, my friend. Well, last week.
Cannot wait.
Prediction time. And you continue to lead. You will obviously go into next year as the winner.
Yes, of course.
But I will say, I had a good week. And
you have to have one sooner or later.
The Rangers let me down. There was the Rangers Hurricanes game.
Hey, Kenny went 4-0.
Kenny went 4-0. First time somebody went undefeated. So that was pretty cool as well. Yeah, we had some good things. Manny is 1 game from being over 500.
So Manny, you got to get ready for this.
He's got to make sure. Manny's got to put that on.
If you're out there,
Faceless needs to get a win. It'd be nice to see. Poor Faceless. But Ron, I will already congratulate you on your win. And I will be wearing some Boston Red Sox attire on our next show.
I'm not sure I even want you to wear that one.
Okay. Maybe put me in a Bobby Orr because, he revolutionized the sport.
No, that's too easy.
Revolutionized the sport. Da-da-da, the violin's going right now. The guy's coming over. He's like,
he did revolutionize the sport.
Mon chéri, let me give you.
That's not an understatement.
Oh my goodness,
that is not an understatement.
All right, smooches, easy. Okay, you'll be all right. All right, my friend. Predictions. You want to bring those up on the ticker? Are you, you're still in awe of Bobby Orr. You like that one? In awe of Bobby Orr.
Well, at least I can tell quality players when I see them.
Oh, here we go. Yep. Numbers don't matter. championships and numbers don't matter. You got to be the look. The look is what you matter. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys that look pretty damn good. I'll tell you that much.
Do you realize all it takes is all these hockey fans when they see this, and I'm going to cut the clip of this,
please
and they are going to blast you. Oh, it's going to be so enjoyable. So enjoyable.
Predictions. 12-31. We got the New Orleans Pelicans at the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies just have not impressed me a lot, whereas the Pelicans, I feel with Zion, are continuing to be a strong quality team. I'm going Pelicans here.
That's pretty good, but I'm going to go Memphis. I'm going to go Memphis Grizzlies.
January 1st, you got the Boston Celtics at the Denver Nuggets.
See, like I like going against the Celtics so they can get the win. But I'm going to go Nuggets and let the Celtics get a win.
Oh, Manny went Pelicans. You went Nuggets?
Yeah.
I as well went Nuggets. In Denver, I just feel like might be a tough one. Manny, we already know won't go with a Boston team anyway. I like how he's going to make sure. On January 2nd, the Winter Classic in the NHL. Pittsburgh Penguins at the Boston Bruins. Boston 18-0-2, right, at home. But it's not really at home. It's at Fenway. But I'm still going Boston. I feel like the Bruins outside. That's going to be a great game. 2 p.m.? He's going Penguins. There he goes.
Oh, I like
He's
that.
back.
I
He's
like
back.
that. There we go. Let's look at those Penguins.
Look at those little penguins. Look at how cute. And they move. They just moved. They changed. They were going this way, and then they moved that way. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. They're moving? Okay.
They were moving.
Might be an optical illusion.
No, replay it after. I mean, I know you still got Bobby Orr in the brain. Go ahead. Boston.
Yeah, I'm going Boston. Boston's just too good.
On January 3rd, you got the Carolina Hurricanes at the New York Rangers.
This is a good game. This is a tough one. I'm going to go Carolina on this.
Yeah, I went Carolina as well. Again, the Rangers just have not been able to put it all together for a length of time. And, you're pretty high on Carolina, so I trust you when it comes to hockey.
Oh, do you, though?
Yeah, Hurricanes.
Even though I'm adamant, Bobby Orr is way better than all of those guys.
His numbers aren't. Okay.
There's the Hurricanes.
January 1st, you got the Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots. I'm up, right? Am I up or you? I am going, and I haven't done this much this season. I'm going with the New England Patriots. Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback with the Miami Dolphins. I just feel like they can beat Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, I went with New England as well.
Manny, you're going to regret this one. Teddy Bridgewater. If there's no way. Also on January 1st, you got the Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I went with Tom and the Tampa Bay Bucks. I know they're not playing very well, but this is Carolina. I just don't think that this team can beat them.
Oh, those little pirates. Those are little pirates.
Yeah, those are little pirates.
Oh, that's pretty good. I went Carolina. I went Carolina. I just feel like something's wrong in Tampa. Something's wrong with Tom. Tampa, it's done. That run is over. I never thought I'd see, Tom Brady at 6-8, whatever they are. Not very good. The big game Monday night, January 2nd, got the Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going Buffalo here. As much as I'm questioning myself even as I'm talking about it, but I feel like Buffalo needs to get that number 1 seed. They know how important it is, and they're not going to, just sleep on this team with the Bengals. They know how talented the Bengals are. I think Buffalo is going to come out. Oh, little Bengals there. Look at that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm going with Buffalo too because I know they need it. Look, Cincinnati is known for letting up their guard once in a while, and they've been on such a roll. And but I think this one's going to get away from them.
Yeah.
Buffalo needs it badly.
Yeah, without a doubt, because Kansas City, they know they need the home field.
Yep.
On 12/31, we got some NCAA football, the college playoffs. At number 3, TCU, the Horned Frogs. At number 2, Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, I'm going Michigan, home team. They're the better team. And Wolverines chew up frogs. So
I like your theory there. I want to see if Manny can come up with like the X-Man symbol. I was hopeful that we were going to get a little X-Man symbol or something.
no wolves. Where are the wolves
Wolverine.
that you had before?
That was for the T-Wolves.
No, that was for the Wolverines. Remember?
Was it with the Wolverines? Yes, it was
Yeah.
actually. Yep. 12/31. We also have number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes at the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs. I went Georgia. I just feel like they're the best team in college football. It's going to be this is little wolves. It's can we just say it's going to be Michigan and Georgia in the championship, and I couldn't be happier about that matchup.
Yeah.
You're going Georgia as well?
Yeah, I'm going Georgia. It's always on my mind.
George is always on your mind. You see that, Ray?
Georgia.
I Manny.
I can't do that.
The dog.
We'll get
the little dogs.
muted.
I like it. Yeah, pay attention. 1 minute 16. Is being cut from this show.
Yeah,
good job. So that is our predictions. There's only 2 different. So obviously you will finish ahead. Congratulations, my friend. So do you want to do the names and then the final thoughts, or final thoughts and then the names? I will give you that option, Ron.
I will do the names during my final thought.
Okay, so that's going to be your final thought.
So you give your final thought, and then I'll read off.
All right, sounds good. So what I will say first, I have 2 real quick ones, but the first one is actually Blaine Gabbert. There was a helicopter crash. They were out on a lake doing some jet skiing, and this helicopter went down. Him and his brothers ended up seeing the helicopter go down and actually saved 4 of the individuals. And we talk about athletes sometimes and just, the shit. Like, again, he's a pro athlete. Granted, he's a backup quarterback, and we can sit back and laugh about that. But the fact that he's in the NFL, that his career, in jeopardy, you're going to basically a helicopter in the water, not knowing what's going to happen. And he pulled out some of these, individuals and actually saved their lives. And I thought that was just a great story that you don't hear a lot about the positive things that athletes do. And, this man could have very easily just pretended he didn't hear it, not take a chance, because, his career could have been in jeopardy, but he decided to go and save some lives. So great job by Blaine Gabbert on rescuing those 4 individuals. And I just wanted to wish everybody a happy new year. Obviously we are finishing this season and going to season 3. And I just wanted to say it's been a great year, Ron. I appreciate all you do for Sports Unfolded. I couldn't do it without you. This has been a long, long ride for us, and many, many years. Before even the internet existed, we were doing this. But the fact that we could bring it back, it's been 2 years now, and we're going on to season 3. I'm so excited to continue this journey with you. So thank you. I hope you and your family have a great new year, and everybody out there just have a wonderful new year.
Yeah, absolutely, Eric. Well said about needing to see the good side of these players as well. That is definitely needed. It's every year. We did this last year, and
I already want to cry again, and I hate this.
And I know,
it's just so depressing.
I know it caught us both last year.
Yeah,
but I feel that we need to do this every year.
Absolutely,
because there's going to be a lot of names on this list that all pass.
Some you know, some you don't know. Right?
There's going to be a lot of them you don't know, but some fans out there in these different sports know who they are. And there's going to be some from all over, because it is, we are international. So you're going to see a lot of these players that play international sports, and then, the main sports that are here in the United States will come last. So, but with that, I hope all of these players, rest in peace, and so it's going to be a tough one. So here we go. Trying to bring up that. There we go. All right. So fishing. Ray Scott. That was the only one that I have for fishing. Triathlete from Japan. It's Sudoi Miyazaki. She
It's
was
like me and
only
hockey. Me and my hockey names.
25.
Oh, wow.
25. She's a triathlete, and she got hit by a car and was killed.
Oh,
Surfing. Chris Davidson and Kalani David. Kalani David was only 24. Cycling. David Rebelin, Herman Van Springle, and Dean Woods. Oh, this is not enjoyable. No, it's pretty rough. Swimming and diving, all the water sports. Hobby Billingsley, 95 years old.
Wow.
And Kathleen Nord. She's an Olympic gold medalist. Like, I've seen her swim too. She's 56. Skiing. Hillary Nelson, Frank Prihoda, and Adele Molos. Adele Molos, 26 years old. 26.
Wow.
Cricket fans. Rod Marsh, Shane Warne, Jeremy Lloyds, Alan Froggy Thompson, Asad Rauf, Lowry Saul, Andrew Simmons. So quite a lot already for cricket this year. And I actually watched cricket the other day.
Oh, wow.
Because I was frustrated and couldn't get my Bruins on IPTV for whatever reason. And I was watching cricket. Here we go. Track and field. John Landy, 91 years old. DeGuy Williams. Chavez Hart, 29 years old. Alfred Mitchell, 81. WWE or other wrestling, but Sarah Lee, 30 years old. And Scott Hall, 63. In case you did not know, Scott Hall was Razor Ramon.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. They're only going to get tougher, too. That's, Tennis. Bob Falkenberg, 95. Colin Stubbs. Simon DeLuigi. And Nick Bollettieri. And Simon DeLuigi, by the way, 18.
Wow. Jeez. Oh,
18 years old. Yeah. Yeah. Racing. And this could be all racing. Lester Peugeot, a jockey, 86. Vic Elford, 86. Go for Gin, 30. It was a horse.
That's a long life in a horse, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would think, yeah.
Patrick Tambay, Keith Farmer, Coy Gibbs. You know who Coy Gibbs is?
Joe Gibbs is the same.
Son. He was 49. Mauro Forghieri, 87. Olivier Lavarelle, Bobby East, Rogan Josh was a horse at 29. And Americane, also a horse, at 17. That was racing. It's going to get a lot tougher now. A lot tougher, because now people are going to start recognizing these players and these people. I mean, like outside of those sports, you know, that was pretty hard, even though a lot of you are not going to recognize. All right, golf. Jack Newton, 72. Bart Bryant, 59. Dow Finsterward, 93. Luliang Huan, Japanese player, 85. Shirley Spork. I don't even know if I can pronounce his name. Todd Whitecoft, 79 years old. And Kathy Whitworth, the most winningest golfer.
Yeah.
Which you sent me that post, and that was appreciative, because I read that article, and that was pretty impressive career. Pretty impressive. All right. All the fighting: boxing, UFC, jiu-jitsu, MMA. Ernie Shaves, 78. I've actually watched him fight. It was late in his career, but I watched it. Stefan Bonner. Anthony Johnson, 38 years old.
Heavyweight, right? Anthony Johnson?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, man.
Like I said,
he's
you got to
only been on
start
the spot
recognizing these names.
Hmm.
Leandro Lowe, 33 years old. Elias Theodoro, 34 years old. Johnny Firmekchan. Simiso Bartholezi. Nikhil Suresh. I can't read my writing there. 23 years old. And Mills Lane,
Yeah, that's
the referee.
That one hurt.
85 years old.
Yeah, one of the
Mills
best refs
Lane.
ever. So many of the big fights back in my day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sports anchors and telecasts. You know what's coming, right? Fred Hickman, 66. John Clayton, 67, from ESPN.
Yeah, I loved him. So I still like his commercial when he was Mom, I'm in the basement.
Yeah.
And, you know, wow.
Yep.
No.
Vin Scully, 94 years old, voice of the Dodgers.
One of the best to ever do it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that was starting to like really hit home. So,
Well,
all
the
right.
thing is now these are again, athletes and people that really we
Yeah.
watched, followed
Yep.
For a long time. So.
All right. Rugby fans. You took it on the chin this year, let me tell you. A lot. 20 just for rugby. Barry Muir, Jim Linehan, Tony Townsend, Rick Bibby, Robert Rocky Lowry, Joeli Vidiri, don't know if I can pronounce his name correctly, and I apologize for that. Aiga Tuigamela, Mark Shulman, Fred Cook, Willie Losey, Eddie Butler, Terry Quinn, Adam Walker, 31 years old, Heather Anderson, 28 years old, Dottie Ware, 52, Paul Broughton, 91, Dennis Spagarino, 62, Bob Cooper, 67, Ken Wilson, 71, and I actually know this player, Max Brito, 51. Okay. Soccer. This is going to be hard. Harley Ballick, 25. Jody Lukoch, 29. Paul Deere, Terry Fulton, Ube Sealer, 85. Terry Neal, David Johnson, Sinisa Mahajlovic, Katie Meyer, 22. Frank O'Farrell, 94, a coach. Tomas Boy, Jurgen Gabowski, Nasi Erden, 91. Lionel Sanchez, 85. Freddie Rincon, 55. And of course, Pele, 82. That's a lot of names.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players. Like some of these are some of Mexico's greatest, just all around. Like it's hard. So if you're a fan of soccer and you hearing that list, it's got to be tough. Manny probably knows who a lot of those players are. I don't even know where to go from here. So I guess we'll go football. Daryl Mudra, coach, 93 years old. Ken Burrow. Lionel James. Roy Winston. Dave Hill. Doug Sutherland. Gary Brown, 52. Jalen Ferguson, 26 years old. Spencer Webb, 22. Rashard Anderson, 45. Shelby Jordan, Dave Butts, Christian Salisbury, 25 years old. Ronnie Hillman. Remember that one, right?
Yeah, he just passed away. Yeah.
Gavin Escobar. Both of those gentlemen are 31. Don Maynard. Charlie Taylor. Johnny Greer, 74. He was the first black ref. That's a milestone. You know,
Yeah.
that's history. Daryl LaMonica. Hugh McElhenney. Marlon Briscoe. Charlie Trippy. Vince Dooley, coach. John McVeigh. Ray Guy.
We just talked about in one of our pick and rolls.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike Leach. Dwayne Haskins, 24. Tony Siragusa.
The Goose, man. Wow.
Charles Johnson.
Wide receiver.
Deshaun Perry. Devin Chandler and Lavelle Davis Jr. Those three were the shooting. What a waste of life. They were all, what, juniors?
Mm-hmm.
They were all juniors, 20 years old. Dan Reeves. Rayfield Wright, Hall of Famer. Gino Capoletti.
Patriot great.
Yeah. Marion Barber III.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't play that long ago.
No.
He was 38. Len Dawson.
Another great, phenomenal.
And the immaculate one, Franco Harris.
John Madden as well.
Yeah, I was going to save him for last, but now that you say
I'm
it,
sorry.
it's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
John Madden. I was going to save him for like the last one because basically that's part of why we do this. But that's fine.
Franco Harris was a tough one too because the 50th anniversary was just
it just happened
right before. Yeah, right before.
We'll go hockey. It's not a big list, but it's a big list. Garrett Burnett, Emile Francis, Jean Potvin from that Islanders dynasty. Also from that Islanders dynasty, Mike Bossy.
We just talked about how great he is.
One of my favorite players ever in anything. And Guy Lafleur.
The legend.
It's Montreal, but I mean, he's just one of the best ever. Top 10 player in history. Like, I mean, what can you say? The guy's done it all.
Yeah.
All right. Baseball. Julio Cruz. Fred Lasher. Odalis Perez. Former Yankee.
Yeah.
Pete Ward, John Ellis, Joe Horton, Lauren Burnett, softball player, 20 years old. Corey Phelan, 20 years old. Ralph Terry, 86. Joan Joyce, 81. Coach Pete Carroll, not of the NFL, of baseball.
Mhm.
Hector Lopez. Roz Wyman. Kurt Simmons. Tommy Davis, two-time batting champion. Maury Wills. This guy pretty much invented the stolen bases. Bruce Sutter. And of course, Gaylord Perry. Yeah. I'd probably say this one's probably the hardest because there's going to be a lot of familiar names. Tiffany Jackson, 37 years old. John Drew. Wayne Cooper. Adrian Payne, 31 years old. Caleb Swanigan, 25 years old. Joe B. Hall, 93 years old. Lucia Harris, Queen of Basketball, 66. Jean Shu, 90 years old. Bill Fitch, 89. Former Celtics coach.
Celtics coach, yeah.
Bob Lanier, 73 years old. Paul Silas. What hasn't he done in basketball? And of course, Bill Russell.
Greatest players of all time.
Yep.
One of the
He's
greatest.
on my Mount Rushmore. As he should be.
Agreed.
It is hard to read off these names and not think back when I've seen a lot of these players grace the field, the court, the ice, the slopes, and not feel something. If there's anything I can tell people right now, is be safe for New Year's Eve, because you don't want to be on one of these lists. You don't.
Ron, I appreciate you doing this. I know how difficult it is and how emotional it can be. And when people say sports are just a game, they make you feel a certain way that it gives you an escape. And a lot of these players, a lot of these athletes, these commentators were able to do that for us. I think you said it best when we talked about John Madden, but we wouldn't be doing what we're trying to do without some of these guys, that the Vince Scullys and the Maddens, and what they were able to make us feel when we listened to a game. And then what these players were able to do to make you forget. Yeah. So this has been Sports Unfolded. It is our year ending. So we go into 2023. We want to just thank all the fans that have supported us this year. You guys have been great. Everybody that joined us live tonight, Chakra, Manny, Zapper, thank you for joining. We will continue to move even further in 2023. That is our goal, and we couldn't do it without our fans. I wish everybody, again, a happy new year. Be safe, and continue to support Sports Unfolded as well, so we can continue to grow even bigger in 2023. Ron, hopefully next year's list isn't as difficult. I'm sure it will be, though.
It always is. It always is, because this is our history. You know, as sports fans, it's our history, and even getting choked up with Guy Lafleur, who is, Montreal is my most hated team ever, but what it means, like when you lose these players,
you can respect greatness.
Yeah.
Like the Lakers and the Celtics obviously have that history, and that. But when Kobe Bryant passed away, it hurt so deep, because you root against them when you're a fan of another team, but you respect greatness. And what these players were able to do was great.
And that the people that are fans of each of those sports that we went through,
they affected somebody's
look,
lives.
And I know that's probably not even everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's like, it's what makes the headlines and stuff. A lot of people fall through the cracks and don't even get recognized. And that's why I read off those players, even if their careers weren't huge, but they're still somebody's family, somebody's fan, and it's got to be, it's everybody. They all make sports. They all make it, whether it's rugby, track and field, fishing. It doesn't matter. Sports is sports, and without sports, how would life feel?
Where would we be without sports? Sports Unfolded wouldn't even exist. Ron, you take care tonight. You and your family have a great new year.
Absolutely.
And I will see you next year. So
yes,
2023, our next show, season 3, episode 1.
Happy
Everybody out
New
there,
Year, everyone.
take care. And all we ever ask for is peace in this world.
Take care, everybody.